is jazz to me? What is a wildflower steaming in a forest grove? A painting, a picture of Bird and Diz flattening fifths on 52nd Street. What is a beat? A sweet, black, brown, and beige. A rhapsody, free as the wind in a restless breeze. A counter melody, a masterful stroke. What is jazz to me? The beginning and the end of an endless affair. A warm something else, cannonball, and Miles used to play. When autumn leaves were in, the weather was for the birds, and Oscar Peterson made honey out of a wildflower called baby, baby, all the time. Jazz to me was like when I was living a lush life on top of the world.
So what books will you have at the LA Times Film Festival? I mean, no, the Festival of Books.
Because I got a booth set up, booth number 302 at Founders Park.
Hey, let them know again, booth what?
302
302.
at Founders Park.
Okay.
And the books I will have, one book is called the Black History National Theater Company, how to set up a national Black History Theater Company, situated in 24 areas of the United States of America, with a center point in the Mississippi Delta, you know, because this is the origin of the descendants of the chattel slaves of America before they spread it out and went to all of these cities and stuff for various reasons. So that book is called the Black History National Black Theater Company. And then the other book is a book called The MEEM Factor. And that's the secret identity of the descendants of the chattel slaves of America. You know, and that book deals with the history going all the way back to the Sumerians, which was a group of people called the Blackhead people that come over here. This is really what they call the New World. This is really the Old World. You know, and what we call the Old World, these was just colonies of civilizations that we had called Lemuria. Mu, they call it Mu Lemuria. This is where the name America come from. But the group, the Sumerians, were called the Blackhead peoples, and they found these big heads and stuff that they got the size of Empire State buildings and stuff like that. And the reason they call them the Blackhead people is because they was ahead of black people all over the United States of America. See, this area, when they always talk about Columbus came over here looking for, thought he was looking for Indians, and this is what he called people Indians, and that's not the reason. The reason is that India come from the name Idris, and Idris was Enoch, right? Yeah, and Enoch is the founder of writing, civilization. He's the one mentioned in the Bible that was taken up and all that kind of stuff. Right. Yeah, so that, and then I got a book called Melchizedek Esoteric Computer, and that's how to calculate the revealed scripture as opposed to the traditional scripture that you find in the Bible. And that's connected to how it was Melchizedek in the 14th chapter of Genesis, 7th chapter of Hebrews, and the 110th Psalms that initiated Abraham into what they call the Melchizedekian system of high priest kingship. And this is the structure that the Messiah Jesus, when they say he was a priest after the order of Melchizedek, this is what they're talking about. See, and that book deals with that. Also deals with the real meaning of the name Abraham. See, And it's not Abraham because ham is a pig.
Right.
See, Kim is the word, you know. And Abram comes from the Semitic word Brahman that you find in the Vedic scripture for priest. So when they're talking about Abraham, actually what they're saying is priest of Kim. See, priest of scientific knowledge. And when you go to the 14th chapter of Genesis, you see that Abraham and his people, most of them was idol worshipers until he come in contact with Melchizedek.
Okay.
He was already a priest. That's like Brahman. He was called Abram in the Bible first. Abram, a priest. And then when he come in touch with Melchizedek, he become Abraham, priest of scientific knowledge, etc., like that. So that book deals with that. And then
So you've been kind of busy, huh?
yeah, and then the other book is called the YCART Model. I wrote that book to deal with young people on how to conflict resolution, after school programs. Please check out my 2 new books up on Amazon. The Charles Gilpin National Theater Company is how to put together National Black History Theater Company situated in 24 areas of the United States of America with a center point in the Mississippi Delta. And the other book is the MEEM Factor, which discussed the secret identity of the descendants of the chattel slaves of America.
In a restless breeze, a counter melody, a masterful stroke. What is jazz to me? The beginning and the end of an endless affair. A warm something else, cannonball, and Miles used to play. When autumn leaves were in, the weather was for the birds. Oscar Peterson made honey out of a wildflower called baby, baby, all the time. Jazz to me was like when I was living a lush life.